Hello and welcome to Avita Yoga and A Course in Miracles. Now, yoga is what brought the Course in Miracles into my life. At the age of 20, I started asking this question, what does it mean to join? Yoga means to join. And I just kept asking that question for nearly a decade. And it became a koan. Became more and more curious. What is this thing called yoga? This was in the 80s when yoga wasn't so popular. And then around 1990, I discovered A Course in Miracles. Doing some yoga on the floor, I looked up. There were the books on my roommate's shelf, and I opened them up, and I knew that the answer was in this book. Well, the answer is never in any book, but books can point us to the answer. Let's be clear about that. And ultimately, like lesson number 121 here suggests, happiness and peace is what we really truly want. We may not realize it. We look for it in so many hidden ways. We look for it in all the wrong places. And so let's take lesson number 121 to heart here today. You may put your legs up on the wall, support your head on a bolster. In succeeding classes, I'll give you a little more guidance about the practice. But if you're following along now, you've been through lots of simple Avita shapes, and you can pick one that works for you. We give the yoga, we give anything we do with our body. Say you put your legs up on the wall and you bring your knee to your chest. We give that healing intent. And what is healing intent but any desire to truly join? And we join through forgiveness. And as the Course teaches us, the Spirit's meaning of forgiveness, the true meaning of forgiveness, is much different than the worldly or the ego's version of forgiveness. So here we get all the tips and the keys here. Lesson 121, forgiveness is the key to happiness. Here is the answer to your search for peace. Okay, so peace and happiness must be one and the same. Here is the key to meaning in a world that seems to make no sense. Here is the way to safety in apparent dangers that appear to threaten you at every turn and bring uncertainty to all your hopes of ever finding quietness and peace. Here are all questions answered. Here, the end of all uncertainty ensured at last. Why would we have a meditation practice? Or maybe why would you have a yoga practice but to find peace, everlasting peace? Isn't that the goal, the ultimate goal of every meditation? Even if you have a meditation of relaxing your shoulders, relaxing body parts, relaxing this or that, behind that relaxation is a goal for peace. Better than getting better at meditation. Why would we want to get better at sitting, better at meditation, when the key to happiness and the key to peace rests in forgiveness? And when do we forgive? Always. Okay, so now, Spirit, Jesus is going to tell us here about the unforgiven mind, just so we're super clear. The unforgiving mind is full of fear and offers love no room to be itself, no place where it can spread its wings in peace and soar above the turmoil of the world. The unforgiving mind is sad, without the hope of respite and release from pain. It suffers and abides in misery, peering about in darkness, seeing not, yet certain of the danger lurking there. The unforgiving mind is torn with doubt, confused about itself and all it sees, afraid and angry, weak and blustering, afraid to go ahead, afraid to stay, afraid to waken or go to sleep, afraid of every sound, yet more afraid of stillness, terrified of darkness, yet more terrified at the approach of light. What can the unforgiving mind perceive but its damnation? What can it behold except the proof that all its sins are real? Okay, so this paragraph gives us a glimmer of what we're really afraid of. We're really afraid of the stillness. We're really afraid of the peace and of the light within. So the unforgiving mind is the veil that covers our reality, the real world. The unforgiving mind sees no mistakes, but only sins. See, mistakes are forgivable. So forgiveness and correction are one and the same. But sins are perceived to be unforgivable. They leave a mark that can't be changed. And the Course will tell us over and over, there is no sin. So the unforgiving mind looks upon the world with sightless eyes and shrieks as it beholds its own projections rising to attack its miserable parody of life. It wants to live, yet wishes it were dead. It wants forgiveness, yet it sees no hope. It wants escape, yet can conceive of none because it sees the sinful everywhere. So the unforgiving mind is judgmental. It's in constant conflict. It may befriend someone one moment and hate them the next, even in the same conversation, but maybe over months, over days. We do it as individuals, we do it as families, we do it as societies, we even do it as nations. We go to war with one country, and decades later we're friends, and then yet decades later we're back to being enemies. So there's constant change and constant flux. Paragraph 5, the unforgiving mind is in despair without the prospect of a future which can offer anything but more despair. Yet it regards its judgment of the world as irreversible and does not see it has condemned itself to this despair. It thinks it cannot change, for what it sees bears witness that its judgment is correct. It does not ask because it thinks it knows. It does not question, certain it is right. Yeah, so that's called stubbornness. The ego locks itself into its way of thinking because that's what fear does. And now we start to turn the table here a little bit in paragraph 6. Forgiveness is acquired. It is not inherent in the mind, which cannot sin, as sin is an idea you taught yourself. Forgiveness must be learned by you as well, but from a teacher, capital T, other than yourself, who represents the other self in you. Okay, so this is the distinction between little s self, which is our personal sense of self that always needs protection. It's fragile. It's all these things that we just read about. Capital S self is it's another word for the Son of God. It's the Christ light. It's the one perfect creation, the one perfect creation unified with the Creator Himself or itself. It's neither masculine nor feminine. It just is. God just is, and then we cease to speak. Through Him, you learn to forgive the self you think you made and let it disappear. Thus, you return your mind as one to Him who is yourself and who can never sin. Each unforgiving mind presents you with an opportunity to teach your own how to forgive itself. So now it's talking about relationship, our brothers and sisters. Each unforgiving person, each judgmental person, each person that we seem to come in conflict with presents us with an opportunity to teach ourselves how to forgive. Now, the worldly idea of forgiveness is to forgive someone for what they did to me, which the Course will tell us in different sections that that's insane. To judge that I've been harmed and then forgive it is not true forgiveness. Forgiveness looks past it all. Forgiveness looks, waits, and judges not. So ultimately, we're forgiving ourselves for the idea that a word, an action, or something outside of ourselves can harm us. In truth, it's only our thoughts that harm ourselves. So paragraph 7, once again, each unforgiving mind presents you with an opportunity to teach your own mind how to forgive itself. That is golden. Wrap your mind around that and you'll set yourself free. Each one awaits release from hell through you and turns to you imploringly for heaven here and now. This is the way to the healed relationship or to the holy relationship. It has no hope, but you become its hope. You are the salvation of the world. And as its hope, do you become your own? The unforgiving mind must learn through your forgiveness that it has been saved from hell. And as you teach salvation, you will learn. Yet all your teaching and your learning will be not of you, but of the teacher who was given you to show the way to you. And that's why I teach. That's why I'm here teaching to, I have no idea if anybody's ever going to watch this video, but I'm teaching to the world. I'm teaching so that I can, uh, so that I can learn myself. To teach is to learn. Today we practice learning to forgive. If you are willing, you can learn today to take the key to happiness and use it on your own behalf. We will devote 10 minutes in the morning and at night another 10 to learning how to give forgiveness and receive forgiveness too. The unforgiving mind does not believe that giving and receiving are the same. Yet we will try to learn today that they are one through practicing forgiveness toward one whom you think is an enemy and one whom you consider as a friend. And you will learn to see them both as one. Wow, that is very, very powerful. See one you consider as an enemy and a friend as one and the same. And as you learn to see them both as one, we will extend the lesson to yourself and see that their escape included yours. If you've had your legs up on the wall now, just come on out of that shape and find a comfortable seat. Change up your shape, sitting upright, lean against the wall, close your eyes. And now we'll go into the practice. And this is beautiful to be able to sit back and close your eyes and simply hear and practice these words. This is paragraph 10, begin this practice by thinking of someone you do not like, who seems to irritate you or to cause regret in you if you should meet him, one you actively despise or merely try to overlook, someone that we may avoid. It does not matter what the form your answer takes. It does not matter what the form your anger takes. You probably have chosen him already. He will do. Now close your eyes and see him in your mind and look at him a while. Try to perceive some light in him somewhere, a little gleam which you had never noticed. Try to find some little spark of brightness shining through the ugly picture that you hold of him. Look at this picture till you see a light somewhere within him, and then try to let this light extend until it covers him and makes the picture beautiful and good. Look at this changed perception for a while and turn your mind to one you call friend. try to transfer the light you learned to see around your former enemy to him. Yeah. Practice seeing the light in and around the one we consider an enemy and transfer that light to the one we call friend. Perceive him now as more than friend to you, for in that light, his holiness shows you your Savior, saved and saving, healed and whole. Then let him offer you the light that you see in him, and let your, quote, enemy and friend unite in blessing you with what you gave. Now are you one with them, and they with you. Now have you been forgiven by yourself. Do not forget throughout the day the role of forgiveness plays in bringing happiness to every unforgiving mind, with yours among them. Every hour, tell yourself, forgiveness is the key to happiness. I will awaken from the dream that I am mortal, fallible, and full of sin, and know I am the perfect Son of God. And this we cannot do alone. This is why we bring everyone with us. It's our yoga here to see our friends and our enemies one and the same. And as we forgive them truly in our heart, the world is saved. We've tried everything else. Recognize the power of your thoughts, the power you hold in mind. Yeah, like the Course tells us, we wake together in unity, and that takes us right back to the joining power of yoga. To join is to heal. To forgive is to be peaceful and happy. All right, as an outer expression of this inner yoga, this inner practice, bring your hands to your heart. Namaste.